What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are in the Exalted Plains. I want to head down here to Solas' personal quest. There's a few things on the way, but yeah, right there. A little background on this, at least from my perspective. Now, I'm just going to give you my 2 cents. What I see and what I think regarding this particular issue here. We find out from talking to Solas that one of his spirit friends from the Fade was summoned against her will. You can assume some mages, you know, and that perhaps the mages wanted something that the spirit wasn't willing to give, so they were trying to force it out of the spirit against its will. And we also know that spirits, when crossing over from the Fade, for any reason other than their assigned nature or their assigned purpose, become what we call demons, right? That when in dialogue with Solas, he goes at lengths to explain that spirits are essentially just bodiless people, and you go in the Fade, they're just like anyone else, and that, you know, they'll talk and chat with you and stuff, but when they cross over into this world, the madness of this world twists them and turns them into, you know, the spirits and things that we see. Anyway, so he tells us all that. Well, this one spirit in particular seems to be really special to Solas, and it's my opinion, my belief that on some level this is essentially his girlfriend in the Fade. Somewhat above and beyond just the casual acquaintances, because we know he met plenty of spirits in the Fade, but this one in particular he seems to have a really strong attachment to. Not just because we're going to look for her, and I don't think just because she's being summoned, you know, just the act of her being summoned against her will by these mages would of course offend him, you know, if it were to happen to any friendly spirit from there. But I just get the sense that there's something more to this. Maybe you'll agree by the end of this video, you know. Tell me in the comment section below if you kind of see what I'm seeing here. I'll give you a couple other things that BioWare went out of their way to point out in the game, and they kind of play into this, because I kind of see that BioWare doesn't really preach in the games necessarily, but they will make points, you know. And now you can take those points and judge them, you know, by your own person, you know, of course, individually, but they'll make the point and leave it to you to think about. And one of the points was made in dialogue with Leliana, and basically the discussion is concerning her relationship to the Divine, being the left hand of the Divine. And one of the dialogue options as the Inquisitor is to ask her, was there something more than that? Were you more than just friends? And she kind of scoffs at you and you say, oh, were we lovers? Yeah, of course you would assume that, because, you know, if you're not friends, then you must be screwing type thing. And she was like, you know, there's way more to it than that, something well above and beyond that. I mean, 2 frogs can screw, you know, whoop-de-doo-dah, but the emotional attachment and the respect and the adoration they had for one another, and the moments that they shared, and that beautiful bond that they had as friends and almost sisters, you know.
Makes it worth it, right?
Oh, and there's a box from the Red Jennies. That's cool. I guess because we completed Sarah's little personal quest. Those start popping up now. It's good for some XP. I don't know if we got any loot out of it. Didn't say. But anyway, so, you know, Leliana goes on to make the point that there's a whole lot more to it than just you know, just sex. I mean, that's just a base act that anyone can do, but having that bond, that attachment, which is something that, in all honesty, a lot of people miss even today in the real world, you know, is the bond. They just, you know, they want to screw and then try to build a relationship on top of that later, and, well, that usually doesn't end well. So, anyway, she makes that point, okay? There's something more to it than that. And then, at pretty much any time in the game that you have Blackwall and Solas both in your party at the same time, I believe it was, they actually did a little joking of that while we were at the Red Cliff Farms. You'd have to go back and look when we first went to Red Cliff. I don't remember exactly what episode that was. But Blackwall is joking with Solas, and he's like, me and Sarah have been talking about it, and, you know, when you're in the Fade, you know, all dreaming and, you know, all that, you know, rubbing elbows with the spirits, did you ever, you know, do the nasty with any of the spirits type thing? And he's like, oh my God, I'm dealing with 6-year-olds, you know, like, just leave it to rest. He never actually said no. But I think in line with the type of thinking that Leliana had, I think whether it was a sexual thing or not, they were in the Fade, so it wouldn't really be so much a physical thing, although you might experience some sense of physical being while you're there in your dream state. Overall, you're talking about a dream world, and I think Solas is, you know, more talking about being on kind of a higher level than just, you know, hey, now that we're in Dreamland, let's screw because we can type thing. You know, Solas was in there for, you know, a lot deeper reasons and stuff, and apparently he grew really attached to this one spirit in particular, and is seriously concerned about her welfare, which we will see shortly. But I'm thinking, putting those 2 points together, I don't think BioWare just threw those out there, you know? They give you something to consider and let you, you know, make up your mind for yourself how you feel about these things. And in this situation in particular, Solas will also tell you in dialogue with him, and he has a lot to say about the Fade and dreams and spirits and even the Breach, okay? And he will tell you that he considers spirits people. I mean, just like, you know, if you're in a dream, you're not any less a person when you're in a dream, even though you don't have technically your body with you, type of thing. And that's the point that he made, is the spirits are people like anyone else. He said when they're drawn across the veil and they're brought into this world, especially against their will or for any other purpose than what is their nature in the Fade, then they become demons. He said what we call pride demons and stuff like that here in this world, in the Fade, in their own element, they're just spirits of like wisdom, you know, and stuff like that. They're just as cool as anyone else, just people. But they get twisted when they enter this world. And, you know, it's no surprise. I mean, look how we act here. And not just in the real world, even in the game, you know, with the mages and the Templars and everyone else, everyone's tripping, you know? And so, yeah, of course, if they come here and if you're going to take something good-natured and take it out of its nature and put it in the world, it's going to become bad because the world's bad in general. Oh, that's kind of pessimistic. No, it's just realistic, you know? Denying that is just denial. It's just the way it is. And, you know, nowadays we are at the point where just not doing bad is considered a good person. Where if you just don't do a bunch of evil shit, then you're all right. That's what we consider good nowadays. There used to be a time when people had self-respect and honor and decency and truth and morals and were upstanding and were devout, and, you know, their word was their bond, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's not old school stupid square shit. What that is real life stuff that we've completely abandoned as a society. Okay, well, there you have it. You take a spirit out of his element, a spirit that would be calm and peaceful, and bring him into this world against his will and twist him into something else. It's not going to end well. It's going to be bad regardless. So actually, BioWare actually makes a point there, you know? So anyway, we know that Solas Friend was brought in against her will, and right now what we're doing is looking at these bodies.
These aren't mages. The bodies are burned, and these claw marks.
And we see evidence of demonic activity. And that's...
Demons work, unless I am mistaken.
Yeah. And see, even Cassandra, she doesn't like it, because she knows what it is. And Solas knows what it is. If there's a demon at work here, then he knows what happens to spirits when you bring them into this world, and this is his friend he's talking about. And maybe something more than just his friend. And that's what I think, but here shortly I guess we'll find out. And these aren't necessarily just some of the mages that we're dealing with. These could be just innocent bystanders, soldiers standing by, anybody, you know, random patrol that walked by and got in the middle of it, and there we go. There's a demon.
The mages turned your friend into a demon.
Yes.
You said it was a spirit of wisdom, not a fighter.
A spirit becomes a demon when denied its original purpose.
So they summoned it for something so opposed to its own nature that it was corrupted. Fighting.
Let us ask them.
A mage! You're not with the bandits? Do you have any lyrium potions? Most of us are exhausted. We've been fighting that demon.
You summoned that demon! Except it was a spirit of wisdom at the time. You made it kill! You twisted it against its purpose!
I understand how it might be confusing to someone who has not studied demons, but after you help us, I can...
We are not here to help you.
We came to help your friend. Any way to do that now that it's a demon?
You cannot befriend a demon? However amicable it might appear, it must...
Shut up! You summoned it to protect you from the bandits.
Yes.
You bound it to obedience, then commanded it to kill. That is when it turned. The summoning circle. We break it, we break the binding. No orders to kill, no conflict with its nature, no demon.
What? The binding is the only thing keeping the demon from killing us. Whatever it was before, it is a monster now.
Inquisitor, please!
I've studied rituals like this. I should be able to disrupt the binding quickly.
Thank you. We must hurry!
Alright, now I don't know if there's a way to save the spirit friend of Solas. I know we're supposed to break these. I don't know if I did it fast enough. But I'm sure gonna try. And you know, I'm gonna go on for just a little bit. I'm gonna go on a little rant here. Because, pardon my French, but the fucking mages. Mages doing what they do. What they always do. What there's no exception to them doing. If they have good intentions, it turns bad. And then it just goes downhill from there. There isn't a good one. Sorry. Even if they're your ally, even if they're your friend, even if they're working on the right side, they're not good. You have a mage that's either not killing everybody or is about to kill everybody. But you don't have any mage that's not going to kill everybody at some point. Find some reason, either directly or indirectly. Here they were just trying to save themselves. The spirit doesn't owe them this. We might run into some bandits, so we better summon a demon. And has that ever ended well? Ever? Once? They can't claim to not know what will always happen when you do this, and they did it anyway. No excuse. No excuse. They deserve death. Tired of it. Sick of it. I'm spending any energy trying to make excuses for mages is too much energy. The fact of all the energy that's been spent in trying to cater to them, all the innocent lives that have been lost, all the harm that's been done, but not just in the world, but in the Fade too. You know, it's like screwing the world and polluting everything around you and killing everybody and everything isn't enough. You got to reach into the Fade and do it there also. When is enough? When is enough enough? When do they stop justifying their existence? When is it not worth it anymore? Bullshit. Sick of it. I think this brings it home.
I'm sorry, Solas.
Don't be. We gave it a moment's peace before the end. That's more than it might have had. All that remains now is them.
Thank you. We would not have risked a summoning, but the roads are too dangerous to travel unprotected.
Shut up.
You tortured and killed my friend.
We didn't know it was just a spirit. The book said it could help us.
Your ignorance is no excuse. Yeah, do the right thing. I don't even have to think once about that.
Damn them all. I need some time alone. I will meet you back at Skyhold.
Right on, man. I don't blame you.
Inquisitor.
How are you, Solas?
It hurts. It always does. But I will survive.
Thank you for coming back.
You were a true friend. You did everything you could to help. I could hardly abandon you now.
Where did you go?
I found a quiet spot and went to sleep. I visited the place in the Fade where my friend used to be. It's empty. But there are stirrings of energy in the void. Someday something new may grow there.
What happens when a spirit dies?
It isn't the same for mortals. The energy of spirits returns to the Fade. If the idea giving the spirit form is strong, or if the memory has shaped other spirits, it may someday rise again.
You're saying your friend might come back?
No, not really. A spirit's natural state is peaceful semi-existence. It is rare to be able to reflect reality. Something similar may reform one day, but it might have a different personality. It would likely not remember me. It would not be the friend I knew.
I'll let you get back to work.
All right. Thank you again.
Okay, now I'd like to make, just to bring this point home again, is Solas isn't the only one that lost a friend. This was his spirit friend from the Fade. The millions of innocent children who have been killed by demons, summoned by these mages, both directly and indirectly, maliciously or not, or whatever they thought their little emo excuse was, or "Oh, I'm scared, my big fireball's on enough, I need a demon," you know, whatever. Don't want to hear it. At some point, you don't even get a chance to explain yourself anymore. That it's just too much. It's too much done. Too much harm. There's no justifying it. You aren't worth the effort it takes to try to excuse you for your actions. Sorry. And if that's harsh, well, all the innocent people that aren't gonna die once you're taken out of the world because of you, all the people that would have died had you stayed, but now they won't because you're gone, their lives are worth a lot more than yours. And that's just the way it is. Well, I don't like that. Doesn't make it less true. Just the way it is.
I've arranged an accord between
Simple
the
judgment
Magic
right there.
and the Forger. Wonder of wonders. Perhaps they can be useful to us after all.
All right, I have all these options. There's I'm not really looking for material stuff right now. I want things that will help the party. I think honestly, advanced focus is probably what I'll go with. True grit, I would have gone with too. That gives damage resistance to everybody. That'd have been nice. Buff the armor a little bit, but maybe that'll be unlocked on our next perk. Maybe. Anyway. All right. So anyway, we have Solas. Now, I guess this would have been the point where we could have technically lost Solas if we weren't friends with him. Or maybe had we sided against him and killed his friend, you know, agreed to help those pieces of shit mages or something. I guess maybe we could have actually lost him from our party there. I'm sure there's points in the game where you can offend, you know, party members to the point that they just have to leave. So that was probably a turning point with him. But I've always liked him, you know. Even if he is a little stiff in his elven traditions and all that, he's loyal for the right reasons, you know. He's here to help the one cause that's probably going to actually do something about all this breach nonsense and Elder One nonsense, and so, you know, here he is. And you can't ask much more than that. I have some points to spend here. Dorian has some really nice passives that really complement his special ability there. And I honestly can't wait to get Haste either. Although Haste isn't really as cool as it was in Dragon Age 2 or Origins, it still comes in handy. And we'll get our own version of Haste here also with our specialist ability, although we won't get to use it as often as I'd like. Anyway, all right, sorry about the rant, but I had to go on. Had to take Solas aside on that one. I was completely uncalled for, kind of getting tired, fatigued by the mages.